This is how I study to get good grades with less stress. That sounds like something you would like, doesn't it? Well, what if I told you that you can achieve it by watching this video? Because we all know that studying can get really hard and stressful, and you study, but you get a bad grade. But there are other ways to do it, and I'm going to tell you about them today. But first, let me take off my glasses. I just want to seem a little smarter. So as someone that has been a student for over 11 years, I think I have started to somehow master the cheat codes of school and studying. Before we start, these are all my personal experiences and tips. I don't know if they are scientifically proven or not. I don't know if they will work for you or not, but these tricks definitely work for me. The first one is that I like to study right after school. I get if you want to rest for a while because things get really tiring, but even if I do rest, I never rest more than an hour. And during that hour, I don't go to bed to watch reels. I just stay on my feet, maybe eat something or get something quick done. Because as soon as I get into my cozy bed and scroll on TikTok for 3 hours, then the motivation to study will be long gone. And when I come home from school, it's like the first step, and when I have that over with, I don't need to stress all day. And when I come home and relax for a long time, I can't enjoy the relaxing. Because I'm thinking to myself, oh, I have to study later, I still have to do that and that and that, but I'm lazy, but I still have to do it. And that just evokes stress in me. And as we said in the beginning, we want to avoid stress. But if you get home, do your work, it's done. You don't have stress anymore because you know you've done it, you feel good, and you just have the rest of the evening to yourself. I'm also still in that study mode right after school. You know, I'm still in that entire school thing, and if I'm studying something that I had today, then it is fresher in my mind and easier to do. The next thing is that a desk can change so many things. Not everyone has the space or money for a desk, but you can just sit at any random table, kitchen table, or even just the floor, but a hard surface. And it's also more of that, especially a desk, that, school atmosphere, study atmosphere. You feel more productive than when you're laying in bed. It's not just unpractical, it's also just not the study vibe. But times when I do allow myself or like to study in my bed is when I really do not have any motivation. When I'm really tired and really need that cozy feeling, then I do that. Then it can be a help. So it kind of depends on how you're feeling. And talking about a desk or a table, it is good if there are not too many distractions. You just have your pens and your paper and just the things that you need. And worst case is you don't have any space to do anything. Everything is cluttered and you can't find your pen. So a simple, cute desk will do. Because the thing you need to concentrate on is your studies and not what's going on around you. That gets us to the next thing when you get distracted a lot by sounds. Maybe your parents talking in the background. I have that a lot. You can just listen to concentration music. I know that music with lyrics can irritate many people and distract them, but concentration music is often proven to, help you concentrate. And when you listen to it with headphones, you will also not hear all the background noise. You can also just do brown noise or white noise, which are just sounds, so that you don't get distracted by any other sounds. Or if it's not just the sound distracting you, but maybe a family member asking for your help all 5 minutes, a little brother wanting to annoy you, then just avoid that distraction altogether by studying somewhere else, like a library where everyone is in that study setting, which does not only motivate you, but also not distract you. Generally trying to romanticize the entire studying session, because that will just motivate you. And the thing is, when you're motivated, things will take less time because you will be more concentrated. But I have an entire video on romanticizing where I have a lot of examples of romanticizing schoolwork, so you should definitely check that out. Now let me tell you about my all-time favorite studying skill that, depending on how you study right now, is more effective and might also spare a lot of time. And that is blurting. It sounds funny. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but let me explain to you what blurting is. Basically, you have your notes in front of you, and then you can read them. Maybe you read one of your study goals, and then you put your notes away and you type down all that you remember from what you've just read. You can do that again and again and again. And after a while, when you feel like you've slowly mastered the things, you can write down all that you remember without reading through what you need to know, and just start writing down everything you remember. And then at the end, you can check your initial notes with the thing you just wrote and then see what you still need to study. And that is so helpful for me. I do it like, depending on the test, I do it like 3 or 4 times. It might take some time if you have many things to learn, but it is so helpful, and I learn things so quickly. And I always mark the things that I can't remember red. And if I don't have any time, or if it's just 2 or 3 things, I just read over these 2 or 3 things before the exam. I've honestly reached my best grades. Whenever I need to know things by heart, I use this studying technique. And if you feel like writing everything down is too much, or maybe you have an oral exam, you read through what you need to know and then you just repeat it. And you repeat it as if you're explaining it to someone. I often like to record myself so that I kind of trick myself into actually pretending I'm explaining something to, for example, you guys. The way I'm doing it right now, I'm basically blurting my notes that I have right here. For the few things that you still can't remember after blurting, just write them down over and over and over again by hand. Or generally, if you have like, I don't know, some grammatic rules that you should know, a few things that you actually need to engrave in your brain fast, I like to take the big notebook and just write things down. I like to do that for maths or French grammar. After writing things down for one time with a pen, not on your laptop, it is proven that you can remember things better. And you might be also thinking, like, she's talking about blurting, but is she expecting me to do blurting 4 times in a row in an evening? That's gonna take me forever. It will. Which is why I am such a big believer of not studying the day before your exam. I know it's tempting. Thinking, oh, I have a week left. I don't need to study now. Worst case, I'm gonna get up in the morning to study a little. You know, no. You're going to regret this as soon as your alarm rings, or as soon as you look at your notes and realize, oh, this is more than I thought. How am I supposed to learn all this in 2 hours? I don't know. Maybe if you have the possibility, you should start earlier. How about that? I like to start a week earlier or the weekend before. By just slowly starting without stressing myself, I need to know everything by heart today. I just start by slowly collecting all my study goals, writing down all I would like to know. Maybe I read through it once. Just slowly work through it, and you will realize that you know it. And when the exam is here, you can rock this and you will not be stressed. And while everyone is stressing the night before, oh my God, can you tell me this? Can you tell me this? I can't do this. I have this today and I can't do anything. You're like, well, I can. Because I started a week earlier, because I listened to Lila. And I know procrastination is a thing. It's a big thing. It's a problem. But what if you really try to set your mind and say to yourself, the next exam I have, I'm going to start a week earlier. And I know you have other things to do. You have other tests to learn, homework to do, your hobbies. Even if it's just 20 minutes a day, which I'm sure you can find 20 minutes. Worst case scenario, you go to bed 20 minutes later. Just use these 20 minutes to start and do it, and you will be so glad. And starting is the big thing. As soon as you have started and collected all that you need to know, things are going to be easier. It's always the start that is hard, like, I don't want to start this, but it's also the thing that stresses you most. Just like you get the ball rolling. I think I've mentioned that in a video. After using the study tips I've said until now, maybe you'll realize that the grade of some subject has gone up, but the other has maybe almost stayed like this. And that is because you're not good at everything. You know that. People are better at other things. I, for example, I think I'm best at languages like French and English, but I'm not good when it comes to maths. So when I do study, I like to put more effort into maths because I know that I need the extra effort. Ask a little more, be a little more attentive during class, take a little more notes, because that just makes a difference. And you can't expect to study the same for a grade you're good at and you're not good at and expect the same results, because some things just need more effort, and it's so frustrating when you have to put more effort in the thing that you don't like. I would rather spend a day studying English vocabulary than an hour doing algebra. When you need more effort, you just need more effort. You can't change that fact, and you will see results. You will realize that you're slowly approaching that level that you were wishing for. And you might not be the only one noticing the effort on your grade, but maybe your teacher will notice. The teacher will notice you trying to maybe raise your hand and help. They will notice the questions that you are asking. They will just notice that you're engaged in the class, which it can actually change a lot. If the teacher sees that you're trying, he will more likely help you, give you an extra point than when he sees she doesn't even care. And when I do put more effort into things, I still don't raise my expectations too high. My expectations aren't gonna be, I need all the points. Like, it's good to have a mindset where you're like, I can do this, I can do this. But if you really know that you cannot achieve that, don't talk yourself down, but be like, if it's not 100 points, it's okay. If it's even just a grade better than the last one, I will be fine, because it comes gradually. And something that can also change the effort thing is just while you're learning something, while the teacher is explaining it, make sure you actually get it. Like, take notes while the teacher is talking. One of my teachers, she likes to talk a lot. She will say something, and 5 minutes later, she will be talking about something completely different. So taking notes is super important in her class. And even if she mixes up everything, I still have that example that kind of helps me. Okay, that was what she was talking about. So ask the teacher after the lesson, did I get that right? When you get home and you're not sure, just maybe look up one more thing. You save so much time and you don't get into stress when the exam is near, because you don't feel like, oh my god, I don't know anything about this, but you're like, okay, I kind of get it. It's tempting to be like, okay, I don't get it now, but we will learn more. Maybe I will get it then. Or worst case scenario, I will just study before the test, but you will regret it. I've regretted it millions of times. Something that helps me so much to actually get the things done that I should get done is to-do lists. To-do lists. If I don't write a to-do list, then I'm like, what do I even gotta do? When you have it on paper, you're like motivated to get all the... But when you write to-do list, you shouldn't do one this long with like tasks that you know you won't do. Like, I don't know, go on a hike on the mountain when it's Thursday 5 p.m. You're just gonna be disappointed in yourself and feel like you didn't achieve your goal, even though the goals you set were just a little too high. In general, I just think that it is important to like not make everything in your life about grades. Like, school is important, it is, and grades are good. It's good if you get good grades. But if you do get a bad grade, it's not the end of the world. Instead of just being frustrated at yourself, try to see, what was I doing wrong? How could I optimize exactly that part in the next exam? And also, it's okay to make mistakes. Like, tests are there to literally just test you. It has just gotten to that point where I just studied something for the exam, and as soon as I walk out of the room where I just had the exam, I'm just gonna forget everything. And that's not the goal. But you cannot blame yourself. When you have so many things, you can't learn everything and remember everything. But you can do it. You can. I'm also proud of you for what you are doing right now. Even for just clicking on this video with the intention, I want to be better. I'm proud of you for even that. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You should try to enjoy school and studying. Let me know if you want more study tips. Maybe they've helped you. Give me some feedback if you've tried any of these things. And good luck on your next exam. Mwah.